Okay, folks, today we're going to talk about lo mein noodles. And everybody knows that has lo mein, chicken lo mein, beef lo mein. Love it. I love it at your Chinese restaurant or for takeout. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the lo mein noodles themselves because we've gotten a lot of comments on our blog that say, "Oh, my noodles came out sticky. I don't understand what's going on," or the noodles are a bit overcooked. They're a little bit dry or something like that. And come to find out, I think some people were using raw noodles and not boiling them first. So first of all, let me show you something. There's a couple of packs of noodles here. These are raw noodles, okay, as is this pack, 2 different brands. And you can get cooked noodles, which we use often because right out of the package, you don't have to do anything. All you got to do is take them out and maybe give them a quick rinse in hot water to warm them up, especially for those of you who don't have a really hot stove. Warm them up, wash a little bit of that starch off, and then use them. But these noodles have to be cooked. So these fresh noodles, and the advantage of using some of these fresh noodles are because they're nice and chewy, and in my opinion, they have a little bit better texture, and that's what we used to use in the restaurant. We used to cook them at 5 pounds at a time, portion them out in orders, and then use them to order. So what I always say is every lo mein noodle manufacturer is a little bit different, and lo mein is slightly different. So what we want to do is read the directions, and you just use it as a basis. So this directions here says bring water to boil, 3 to 4 quarts, and I do have a good amount of water, and it's boiling, it's starting to boil here. And it says cook 6 to 8 minutes, stirring halfway through the cook time. Rinse under cold water 2 to 3 minutes until the water runs clear. So you want to get the starch out. Now, this one is also a raw noodle. It says dip noodle into boiling water, cook for about 40 seconds, then strain from water, add oil, sauce, and soup in it. 40 seconds. So maybe these noodles are a little bit different than these that recommend cooking for a longer time, but it's a reference. So what I recommend is boiling up some water, and first of all, when you go buy these, you got to make sure on the package that you're buying raw noodles, because you certainly don't want to cook your cooked noodles because they're going to get all big and soggy and mushy. And you definitely don't want to mistake these raw noodles for cooked noodles and just toss them in there, and then you're going to have a kind of a sticky raw noodle mess there. So that's first things first. So do your homework at the supermarket, read the label, make sure you know what you're buying. All right, so we've got our raw lo mein noodles. They're egg noodles. We've got some water that's boiling in the wok. We've got a stainless steel bowl here with a colander, and I use a spider to scoop the noodles after they're done. So I have all these tools ready at hand, and this water is starting to boil. So what I'm going to do is open these up.
So those are the packages that said cook for like a few minutes, right?
This package says cook for 40 seconds. So like any other pasta noodle, and this is clearly a raw noodle, right? It has a little coating. So what we're going to do is wait till we get a boil. Okay. Now I'm also going to use a pair of chopsticks because I think these are useful. But you feel free. You could use you could also use some tongs if you want. So what I'm going to do is just pour these right in to the boiling water. I don't really add salt to them. So here we go. Put them in there, and then just take your chopstick and just zhuzh them apart here. And this is like cooking any other fresh pasta. So if you want to have the same lo mein noodles that your local Chinese restaurants make sure you go out and buy these. If you cannot find them, and you're in a desert, a Chinese restaurant and market desert, then what else are you going to do? Use pasta. You can use spaghetti, you can use linguine, You can use angel hair and then cook those according to your preference. But just make sure we're calling for 14 ounces or a pound of fresh noodles. And people just cook a pound of pasta, dried pasta, and they say, oh, I'll make a lo mein. I got too many noodles. Well, of course you do. Because probably 8 ounces of pasta will cook about a pound of pasta, a pound of wet pasta. So just have it. So this has been going for, let's say, I've been zhuzhing around a little bit. It's coming back up to a boil. It's been about 2 minutes. So I'm going to taste this.
It's definitely done.
It's a little sticky. Not done yet. It's
But
still
it's
got
40 seconds.
That's why I say, when you read the thing, if you were to, when you read the directions, it says 40 seconds. You zhuzh it around 40 seconds. You're going to still have a little bit of a very, very al dente pasta, but you do want it al dente, which means like a firm cook. You don't want it mushy. So this is just about done, I would say. So not 40 seconds, maybe 2 minutes or so. So I'm going to take this, my trusty little spider here, the chopstick. I'm going to put these in here. There you go. That wasn't too bad. This is a very useful tool, this spider. So now we're going to take this right away over to the sink. And I have some water already set, which you can do, or you can just run it from the tap. Cold water. And just stop the cooking process here. It's okay, I'm going to use my hands here. Yep, everything is cooled off. Look at that. That's a beautiful noodle. That's the way it should look. Now you're just going to I'm going to just pour the water off. I'm just going to let it sit there and drain.
Do you have to oil them?
Yes, we are going to oil them in a little bit. And you can see, I'm going to taste this. So they're al dente. They're cooked very nicely. And in the middle, they're a little bit chewy. And that's the way you want them, because you're going to cook these again in your lo mein, in your wok.
I would say they're extra al dente.
Yeah, they are pretty al dente, but it's always better to just a little bit undercooked. So we're going to let these drain. While we're letting them drain, I just want to say a couple things about these lo mein noodles. Get the lo mein if you can. If you can't get a cooked lo mein if you want it more convenient. And what you do with a cooked lo mein is that you don't have to boil the water, although you could. Toss them in there, even with hot water, hot tap water. Give them a good rinse, warm them nice up, because these noodles are still warm here, okay? And then it'll be, when you add them to your wok, you won't you won't rain on the party. Put cold noodles inside the wok, and then you got a cold wok. You want a hot wok. What else about the pasta?
Lo mein's ready to use, right?
Lo mein is ready to use right now. I'm gonna just it's drained a little bit, and it's pretty dry right now. And it's really important to use this lo mein right away, because you don't want it to dry out. Although you can use half of this, and then you could put this in a Ziploc bag and portion it if you like. But before you do that,
Don't you think it'd be better to portion it before you cook it?
No. Well, if you want to cook it every single time, you could. But like in the restaurant...
Doesn't this get soggy in the refrigerator?
No, it doesn't actually, believe it or not. This is about a pound here. Put about a tablespoon of oil, right? I'm just going to approximate it here. And then you just take that and we toss it in oil. And it keeps from sticking, keeps from drying out, right? And this admittedly is a lot of lo mein, right? So for at home, maybe you might even want to use half of this.
Well, how many servings do you think that is?
This is a good 4 servings, but the reason why I say that is because our wok is pretty big. You put a lot of vegetables in it. You could cook it in batches like this right here, about 8 inches of noodle. This is what we would do. we would do this. Wrap it around like this, put it in a pile like that, wrap the other one in a pile, and then that would be one order right there, and that would be another order. We'd take 5 pounds of noodles and we'd portion everything out. And we'd keep this in the refrigerator and we'd cover it. So every time there's an order that comes in there, I'd reach into that, walk in, grab this, put it on a plate, grab all your vegetables here that we have already here, and just go to the wok, throw it in there, and start cooking. So
Let's do it.
let's do it. That's the well. This is the way you cook lo mein noodles, right? So I felt like this was a very important a thing to cover that a lot of people had trouble with. It's like, oh, I don't have the lo mein noodles. I don't, they came out sticky. I think I didn't cook them right, or did I have to cook them? But like I said, first thing at the store, look at the package, cooked or not cooked. If it's raw, you do exactly what we just did. Cook them, rinse them in water, brush them in oil. You want to cook one small portion of the noodle, you can do that, and then put this in a Ziploc bag or put it in the refrigerator for a couple of days. And again, this is about a pound of lo mein, and that's exactly what we're going to use about here, 14 ounces to a pound, and it should make a lo mein for 4 servings of lo mein. So try one of our lo mein recipes, but first, make sure you check this recipe on how to cook lo mein noodles. Here we go. Thank you.